welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my January book haul. So in January I got quite a lot of books, I'm not gonna lie. This is quite a lot, some might say quite excessive, but reading is kind of my one main hobby, so that's where the majority of books, that's where the majority of my money goes, is on books. And I don't need to explain my purchasing habits to you, but yeah, I am aware that this is a lot of books. That's why I said at the beginning of the year that I wouldn't be going on a book buying ban, because I am not very good at sticking to that. So I'm going to run through the books that I've got. I'll tell you where I got them from, and if I know much about them, I'll let you know, but I'll be honest, most of them I don't know a lot about. I pick them up for a number of different reasons, which I will obviously explain when I show you, and yeah, we'll just dive into them. So the first stack I got kind of towards the beginning of the month, which is this stack here. This is a stack of mainly historical romances. So I got this around the time that I was taking part in the Rake Meets Blue Stocking readathon, and I wanted to pick up some more historical romances basically, and I just had a look on Amazon, had a look see what was cheap, and kind of picked up a few. There are a few exceptions, but I'll explain as I go through. So the first one is An Affair with a Spare by Shayna Galen. I haven't read anything from this author, although I do own a few of their books, but I picked this one up mainly because of the cover. I'll just show you a bit closer. Love the cover of this one, and I'm excited to check it out. Then we have Love in the Time of Scandal by Caroline Linden. This one I again know nothing about, but I've read from Caroline Linden before. I enjoyed what I read previously, so I wanted to check out more of her books. Then we have When You Give a Rogue a Rebel by Jane Ashford. This one is actually a bind-up of two of her books. It's the Repentant Rebel and Meddlesome Miranda. So this one's a bind-up of two books, so essentially two books for the price of one. I think she's been writing for quite a while, so these are older books. Yeah, so one was published in 1984 and one was published in 1988, and then they've been rebound into this edition, and it's really pretty. I've read Jane Ashford before. Her books are pretty good, so I thought I'd pick that up. Then I have The Rogue's Proposal by Jennifer Haymore. So I have read a few Jennifer Haymore books. She's written a few more recently that have been independently published, but this is obviously one that's traditionally published, and I thought I would pick that one up. Then we have Stealing Home by Grace Riley. So this one is obviously not historical romance, but this one was only, I think, $2.50. So I have her other books in the series, which I think are called First Down and Breakaway, and this one is one of the ones I didn't have, and I wanted to complete my set. I think there is another one in this series now called Wicked Serve, and these are all sports romances. So I think this one is a baseball one, and I'm not sure if they're all baseball actually. No, I don't think they are. I think one's football, one's ice hockey, and this one's obviously baseball. So I'm excited to check out this series. I've heard a lot of really good things, so fingers crossed I enjoy it. And then the last one that I got in that bundle was As You Desire by Connie Brockway. So the Historical Hellions are a book group on YouTube, and they read older historical romances, and I think they're all from the year published before the year 2000, and this was their January pick. I didn't obviously get to it in January, but I wanted to pick up a copy. If I can get hold of the Historical Hellions book picks, then I do pick them up and do try and read them in the month that they are being read. Obviously, as I say, I didn't get to this one, but because they are all published before the year 2000, sometimes some of them can be a bit hard to get hold of than others. I try and get them secondhand, but again, that's not always possible. This one I got brand new off Amazon. This is a newer edition of that. So I think it was first published in, does it tell me in here? No, it doesn't tell me, but this was first published, I think, in the 90s. And then Connie Brockway republished it as an indie edition, and that's this one here, which is why the cover is maybe different to the one you've seen. I'll insert a picture of what the original cover is, but I couldn't get a hold of that one, so that's the one I've got. I'm excited to check that one out. I don't think I've read anything from Connie Brockway before, so I'm excited to check out a new author. Then I have How My Neighbour Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. This one I picked up off of Vinted. I love buying books off Vinted, but I haven't bought too many recently, although there are a couple on this in this video, but there's been months where I've bought loads. But this one is one that I didn't get to during the Christmas period, and when I saw it on Vinted, this was only £1 plus shipping, so I decided to pick it up, and I will have this ready for next Christmas so I can get this one read. I've heard mixed things about this one, but I do enjoy Megan Quinn's writing, so I'm hopeful that I will like that one. Then I have the Starlight Air, which is difficult to show because of the shiny cover, by Emily Howard. This one is a fantasy, I think fantasy romance, and it was a new release for January 2025. This one I got from Waterstone, so I pre-ordered another book, a special edition, which is coming out later in the year, and in order to get free shipping I needed to spend like I think another £5, so I just picked up another book. This was obviously a bit more than £5, but I wanted to get free shipping, so I decided to pick up this one. I don't know too much about it, but I am excited to check out Emily Howard's first fantasy book. She normally writes historical romance. Then the next stack of books that I have are, I think, four books that I picked up in the Works January sale. So some work stores had a better selection than my one did. The selection in mine wasn't the best, but I did still manage to pick up a couple of books. I did also buy some other books from the Works this month, but I'm going to do a separate video on those because there's quite a few, but I thought I'd include these ones here. So the first one I have is Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I've not read any Catherine Center books before, but I've heard good things about them, and this one was only £2, so I'm excited to check that one out. Then we have Good Boy by Elle Kennedy and Serena Bowen. I love Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. I've read a lot of their books, and this is one of their, I think it's hockey series that they co-wrote together, and yeah, I'm excited to check this one out. This one was £3, and this one has sprayed edges and is a Bloom Books edition. And then to go along with that, I picked up Stay, which obviously is also by Elle Kennedy and Serena Bowen, and this also was £3 and again has sprayed edges. So I'm excited to read these. These are the first two books in the Wags series. I'm not sure how many books are in this series, but these are the only two so far that the Works have released, and I'm excited to check those out. And then the last one I got in the Work sale was The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. This one was also £2. I've read a few Ashley Winstead books. She's written, I think she started out writing mystery thriller books, but she has released some adult romances as well. I've read the adult romances, but I've not read any of her mysteries, and I'm excited to check this one out. Next stack of books are along the lines of the Historical Hellions book club. So they, again, I managed to find a few of their picks for later on in the year off of, some of them are from eBay and some are from Vinted. So the first two are from eBay. And we have Whitney, My Love by Judith McNaught. I've not read Judith McNaught. I know she's a bit of a controversial author because of some of the content of some of her books is a bit, in terms of consent, is not great because of the time period that she wrote in. I don't know when this one was published actually. Let's have a look. First published in 1985 by the looks of it, so it's quite an old one. This one, as I say, I picked up off of eBay. And then I have Rendezvous by Amanda Quick. This cover is absolutely hideous. There is a much nicer cover, but this one I think is the UK cover. It's horrible. I I don't love this cover at all. This one was first published in 1994. I've read Amanda Quick before, and I have enjoyed the books that I've read from her previously, so I'm excited to check that one out. Then we have An Improper Proposal by Patricia Cabot. So this is I don't know if this is her real name or if it's a pen name for Meg Cabot. Meg Cabot wrote the Princess Diaries series and the Mediator books. The Mediator books were some of my favourite things that I read when I was younger, and this is her pen name that she uses for historical romance that she obviously published quite a while ago. I don't think she still publishes under this name, but this book was published in 1999, and this is again one of the historical Hellions book picks for later on in the year. This one I got off of Vinted, and I did actually get a bundle because the seller had a few other books by this author listed, so I decided to pick them all up. So that was the historical Hellions pick, and then I got Portrait of My Heart, Where Roses Grow Wild, Lady of Sky, and A Little Scandal, all by Patricia Cabot. And I'm excited to check those out. I don't know anything about them, but can't wait to read them. And then the next two, I picked up some books off of Amazon at a later date during the year because I ordered something else, and I thought I'll just treat myself to a couple of books. So the first one I picked up was Monarch by Sophie Lark. This one I think was only like £6 something, so that's why I decided to pick it up, because it was not very expensive. Love the cover of this. I think this is book 2 in, I'm not sure what the name of the series is. Does it tell me anywhere? Oh, it's called the Grimstone series. So this is book 2. The first book's called Grimstone. But that one, I think, was, when I bought this, was like £8, so I picked up the second book. I will also pick up the first book at some point, but I think these are also available on KU. But I like the cover of this one, and I can't wait to read it. And then I picked up The Forever Rule by Carrie-Anne Ryan. Carrie-Anne Ryan is an author that I read for the first time in 2024, and I really enjoyed what I've read so far from her, and I want to continue reading more from her in 2025. And this is her 2025 release. This came out in January. This is obviously the couple cover, but there is a discreet special edition cover, but that one was more expensive, which is why I went with the original. And then the last stack of books I have 2 books from Vinted, a couple of subscription books, and one that was a pre-order. So I picked up these 2 books from Vinted. So we have All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace, and then All the Stars and Teeth, also by Adeline Grace. So this is one of her duologies. She wrote the Belladonna trilogy, which I read at the end of 2024 and finished the last book in January, and I wanted to check these ones out. I don't know what they're about. I saw them on Vinted, they were really cheap, so I decided to pick them up. And then I subscribe to the Afterglow subscription, which is Mills and Boon, part of Mills and Boons. It's one of their new I don't know what you call it, like it's a new publisher that they launched last year, but it's part of Mills and Boons, but it's obviously like a Smurf, and it's more like spicy contemporary romances. And each month you get 2 books, and this is January's book. So we've got The Relationship Mechanic by Carmen Lee. This one is an FF romance. It says it gives you the tropes on the back here, or some of the tropes. It says it's a spicy small town romance with forced proximity, which I like the sound of. And then we have Brewing Up a Bad Boy by Catherine Gabera. This is book 3 in her series. The previous books have come in previous months of this subscription, and this one says it's a second chance small town romance with fake dating. So sounds right up my alley. Can't wait to check that out. Then we have Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This one I pre-ordered from Bert's Bookshops. He had a collaboration with Hannah Bonham Young in terms of if you pre-ordered you would get a signed edition, which you can see with the signed bookplate. and it also came with some bookmarks and stickers, which is really cool. And I had a gift voucher, so gift card, so I used that to pre-order that book. And the last book I have is my Afterlight subscription. So this is Under Lock and Key by Lena Ferguson. This one I'm really excited for. It sounds really good. And the cover for this is absolutely beautiful. So I'll just show you the back and the sprayed edges. And I haven't actually looked at the naked hardcover yet. Let's have a quick look. Oh, it's really pretty. There we go. And then it's got the gorgeous end pages as well. So I am excited for this one. I haven't actually read any Lena Ferguson books yet, although I do own a few, but I can't wait to get into them. So that is all of the books that I purchased in January. I'm not sure how many that was, I didn't count, but as you can see it is quite a lot. So hopefully February won't be quite as many books, but we shall see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if there is any books that I've shown in this haul that you think I must read like straight away, let me know, and I will see you guys in my next one.